Now, finding one-on-one time when you have more than one kid is pretty tough to do, and I can attest to that.
In today's parent panel, sponsored by United Tribes Technical College, we ask our moms how they create special moments with each of their children.
I really like your idea as well about having more than one child, and then knowing how to spend time with both of them, or maybe some individual time with them. So tell us again what your idea was.
It actually came to mind because of a moms meeting, and they were like, well, how do you spend, like making that time for separate? They were talking about how important that is, because one of the gals was like, and each of your children are different, and they like different time, with you doing different things. Like the one was like, yeah, my daughter, when she really wants to talk with me, she's like, let's go get French fries. And so her and I'll go in the car, and like, we've had many good conversations with getting French fries. And I thought to myself, like, that's genius. Like, it doesn't have to be something extravagant, but like figuring out what that one thing is to do with each of your kid when they're apart, not together, not when it's the three of you or the, however many children you have, but it's one-on-one with them. And it just really made me think. And so I thought that was so wonderful. So I think it's something that I'm going to definitely start doing, is just doing those like one little things, like just something little with each of them. Somebody was also commenting about like how they would go individually with their mom to do school shopping, clothes shopping. Some of these things that we don't like, I wouldn't have thought about it had it not come up at that mom's meeting. So it was just fun.
Mariah and April, how about for you two? How do you kind of balance this out as far as spending some individual time with your boys?
I don't know. I like to try and call out like their individual strengths in a way, like kind of speak life into them. Because I hope that then as they get older, they will hear my voice in their head when they have doubts about themselves, and that they'll be like, you know what, Mom always said I was like kind and generous. Like I'm going to continue to do that. And like Sarah was saying, doing kind of just those like one-on-one things. I think it's so easy, especially when you have, two boys or two girls or whatever, to kind of compare in a sense, because like, well, they're both boys. We're both their parents. They're both similar, right? No, they're not. They're totally different and unique. So really just taking the time to speak into their strengths, and then finding what they like to do. How often do I do that with my girlfriends? Like, you just need some of that one-on-one connection time. You're like, let's go grab a Starbucks. And that just, makes everything right. So I just trying to spend a little bit of time one-on-one and speak it into the goodness that they each have.
There's a really good family friend of ours, and she has always said, find out what your child's currency is. And so what are the things that really matter to them, and how can you use that to make a connection with them? And that has stuck. I mean, that's stuck with me before I was a mom working with teenagers. It's a part of what I think of now with teenagers that I spend time with. And now, as a mom, it's what I think about. I can already see that there will be similarities between Axel and Archer, and there will be differences, and trying to figure out, and keep that in mind. Like, okay, Archer's probably going to relate to this more, and he'll probably maybe want to sit down and talk a little bit more than Axel. And again, like I'm just guessing that's how it's going to be. And something that I say to teenagers, and something that I say to Archer always, is that you are loved, you matter, and you belong. And I just always like that's the truth about who you are. And I always want you to come back to that no matter what.
By United Tribes Technical College. If there's a topic you'd like to hear us discuss, please send your idea to studio701@kxnet.com.